All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Like we said, we're going to have a kind of a two-part video dump here. Welcome back to the TKO show. It's Tayo and Kenny, and for this video, we wanted to specifically talk about lot finishing, lot development. So we had a viewer on our last video. He commented that they're considering buying a home in Maryland. What was the cost for development of your lot? And also, can you break down what needed to be done? So that is what we're going to do in this video real quick. Like we said in a previous video, lot development, lot finishing, Caruso, our builder Caruso, they had like a general idea or a general number of what lot finishing might cost per county. And it varies per county because of different fees, permit fees, impact fees. Impact is like the impact of new residents coming to the area on schools, transportation, traffic, and things like that. Counties there's a fee in different things.
Yeah, that's usually around $25,000 impact fee.
Just the impact fee part of your because you put in a permit costs $200 maybe $65 or $100, and the impact fee on that permit was like 20 something thousand. It's like, wow, those numbers add up. So lot development, we're gonna go ahead and break it down. When you're buying in a community, this would be equivalent to a lot premium. Sometimes you go in a community and you pick a different lot. When they're building in a community, they bought this area of land, and certain things needed to be done to it to get it broken down into lots of where they're going to put your house. And depending on where your house is situated, different things had to be done. So if your house required, if the lot that you chose required more to develop it, either they had to do more grading, or they had to, it requires this long driveway, or it requires something extra. That's what's going to determine your lot premium. You'll see some lots that have a $8,000 premium. Some lots have a $10,000 premium. Some lots will have a $20-something thousand premium. And it's because of what type of engineering work and stuff needed to be put into make that house, that lot, ready and prepped to put your house on it. So for us, the things that kind of got broken down into our lot finishing, and this was initially an estimate. They'll have a general estimate of what it's going to cost to do your house or develop your lot for your house. And then it was later on, after some engineering work had been done, that they found that, hey, there was going to be more required. So they present you with an estimate. It was that estimate plus the base cost of the house plus the cost of the lot itself that we went and got our construction to permanent loan.
And options.
And options. And then that's what happened with our delays earlier in the year. So first thing on your lot development is engineering, which we talked about in the previous video. And I'll let the engineer talk about what type of things go into engineering. What type of things they look at.
So it's just they're going to, if there's any potential issues with your lot, does someone else already have claim to it? It's site your lot, in terms of direction, and how your lot is going to be sited. It's going to face north, it's going to face south, southeast, southwest, whatever. And you have a little bit of flexibility in that process. You can tell them how you want it to be, and they'll let you know if it's feasible or not. Does your home, we'll hope that when you're buying a lot, you already have an idea of what kind of lot, home you want. And so, is your home big enough, or is a lot big enough for your home? Because you don't want to get like a quarter-acre home and, a quarter-acre lot, and your home is like huge and massive. Oh, it's not gonna fit. So,
or if you have like a really narrow lot and your house is built out this way where you can't fit, So they look into all of that. They do a lot of surveys with how water drains in the area. Stormwater management is a huge part of that. Them creating a stormwater management plan. They create your septic plan. They, kind of cite things where your propane is going to go, where they're going to drill the well. Again, like you said, they're citing the house and citing all the components that are going to be needed for your house.
And that's all conceptual. It's not. It doesn't go into detail. That's all conceptual. The other thing is, what do you want? You want a basketball court? You want a swimming pool? You want a tennis court?
Do an in-ground
They'll
pool.
give you all of that.
So yeah, so with that, that cost in your lot development or your lot finishing estimate, that can vary. Usually you'll get a proposal from the engineers, and that was one of the things we did compare before we picked the engineer that we picked. But they'll have, general prices, and their proposal might, fluctuate depending on what needs to happen. So like we mentioned in the previous video, we ended up needing a modification to a county code, which required a community meeting, and they are paid hourly to do that stuff. So them preparing to get the community meeting, them sending out all the information to the neighbors and all of that stuff, is billable time. So even their proposal, what they had on their proposal, that changed because we needed something changed with what was needed for our lot. Mm-hmm. So engineering, they'll submit their proposal. That will fluctuate. The next thing in your lot development estimate or your lot finishing estimate would be the cost of the permits. Like we mentioned, that'll vary from county to county. The permit for grading, permit for building. Then plumbing will have a permit. Electrical will need their permit. So all of the different trades will need, of course, to apply for a permit. So all of that cost is in there.
So now, she said septic. Septic, if you don't have the public utility running along your property, and so if that's not the case, then you have to do a percolation test, and you have to pass the test before you can even do a septic system. If you purchase a lot that does not perk, that lot is not buildable. It's the playground. You're not building on it.
Right. So yeah, important to note when you're trying to look for a lot. So one of those things we mentioned, there are things that you can do to speed up your time, reduce your costs. A lot that already is available for, public utilities. You don't have to worry about septic, right? Also, I'm talking on the lines of septic, so those will be separate. Also, there's permits for those, and then there's actually installation of those. So the cost to drill your well, the cost to install your septic system, your septic plan based on what your engineers have developed. There's propane, what it's going to cost if you need gas. Like I said, if you're not connected to public utilities, if you're going to need gas, your propane tank, we need a propane tank. The only utility that we are using from the county is electric. We have septic, we have propane. So installing the propane. And communication. Yep. Things like other things on here would be portable toilets. Of course, the workers got to use stuff, the porta johns or whatever, dumpsters, excavation. So bringing the equipment out to dig and all that stuff. That cost is in there. Hauling dirt, lot balancing. I think that's just what's lot balancing. Is that just moving dirt and making? I don't know what lot balancing is. Grading, okay. So that's a line item on here. Backfill is a line item on here. So after they dig, then they put the basement in, they filled it back in, up the dirt up against the house. There's rough grade, fine grade, fill dirt. Again, all of this is just moving earth around, okay? But they're different line items, and some of them range from $2,600 to $14,000, right? Sediment control, okay? So before any construction begins, they want a, what's the fence called? Sediment control fence?
Silt fence.
The silt fence.
Or super silt fence.
So you gotta, encompass your lot, whatever area you have been.
Limit of disturbance.
Okay, so there's only whatever's within that little black stuff, that little black fence or whatever that you see around construction sites. There's a cost in here for sediment control to be installed and then monitored anytime there's a heavy rain event and things like that. Like we've gotten some heavy rains the last couple of weeks, but just making sure that the fences are still secure. So talk about sediment control fences, making sure that after a rain event and things like that, the water runoff and things like that have not. You don't want construction material, dirt, and stuff like that running off
To
onto
wash
off
out.
to neighboring properties or into a stream and polluting, wildlife or whatever. So inspectors will be, kind of checking you guys on that. So super important stuff. Then there's the cost of stormwater management, more rain stuff. Again, all those disputes that you see with, oh, this person's property is flooded my property and da 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 da. It's just bad engineering or something happened with their engineering where they didn't have a good stormwater management plan. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit more about stormwater management and why it's so important.
Yeah, so in terms of, again, just lot finishing just encompasses a whole lot more. You have the permitting, you have the impact fee, you have anything that has to be done outside of your home, restoration, because they have to put, grass seeds or sod in some cases, and stormwater management and all that stuff. It's just to talk about stormwater management a little bit. So basically, when you go to a lot, it's either wooded or it's all pervious. So pervious means that water goes whenever there's rain. The water is,
Can soak into the ground.
goes into the ground, right? And it doesn't wash out because again, it's pervious. It absorbs water. It's absorbed into the ground. Now, once you put a home and you put sidewalks and your driveway, those are impervious, and so the county does, ideally don't want pervious surfaces, right? But when you want to build a home, they're not gonna not allow you to build your home, and so what you have to do is take additional measures to make sure that those runoff that would typically have been absorbed into the ground go into somewhere else, and they're not running off into someone else's property. And that's why they have those, stormwater management. They call it BMPs, best management practices. So in our case, for us, we have two huge
Huge. It's massive. It's massive.
bioretention ponds.
It's really, really big. And it's really, really big because in our grading plans, there were ideas, or there still is an idea, I guess, for like a pool. So when you talk to your engineers and things like that, you tell them everything that you want so they can plan ahead. It's good to get the grading permit approved versus now, later on down the line, hey, we want a pool. Now you got to start from scratch and get an engineer to design everything. So Lisa's already a design, not necessarily doing it now, but there's a stormwater management plan for that. Like Tile said, if there's concrete, nothing that rain can go down and absorb into, that rain is just going to slide off and run off into, overflood a stream, overflood the property behind you or to the side of you and all that stuff. So you have these huge stormwater management devices, and those I didn't realize how expensive those little grassy things are.
Very expensive,
all kinds of
but
drains
all of that has to be calculated. So again, it's not, and that's what the engineering is for. You have the home, and we call it the engineering, and it does encompass a lot, and so that is a process you have to go through.
Of the total finishing, some more in there. So that ended up being part of the retaining wall. Our Great Wall of China ended up getting thrown in there. That wasn't in our initial estimate. Grass seeding, like you mentioned before, landscaping. They'll do the driveway in that too, and stuff like that. And then they also have other like fees, like their lot management fee. I feel like that should be negotiable, but they had a lot management fee and stuff like that. So connection to electric and all of that was in there too.
Now, it's an estimate, so it could have been underestimated or overestimated. So there's certain situations where you actually get money back, But just real quick, to go into things you can do to make sure that you're not spending a lot on that is, if you find a lot that is flat, are relatively flat and there are no trees, it costs you a lot less to develop than a lot that slopes. If you find a lot that's flat but it has trees, it'll cost you a little bit more, but not as much as we paid.
Because we have that steep slope. Yeah.
So we kind of, I won't say the worst of the situation, but we had a totally wooded lot and we had a steep slope. And so we have to cut those trees, clear it, and also deal with the modifications.
And then even with because ours was a wooded lot, part of stormwater management again is we had to part of our landscaping and stuff is going to involve replanting some trees or whatever that will again mitigate how much rainfall is washing off. When things are planted in the ground, they hold the soil together better, so things aren't just like washing away. So even like planting more trees, or I think we had to have a reforestation agreement that hey, we're cutting down these many trees, but for these many trees that we cut down, they're gonna replant a certain amount of trees. So even that's in there, and of course that'll make your landscaping costs fluctuate. I think our landscaping comes out to $1,500 or something like that. So somewhere around $1,500. So just throwing out general figures here. Again, your figures will fluctuate depending on what's going on with your lot. And like Tail said, just trying to find the lot that requires the less development that works better on your wallet.
All right, so we're gonna give you the best case scenario when it comes to doing what we did, which is you find a lot, and in the listing it tells you that the engineering has been done and they have the permit on hand, and what that means is that they've gone through all this process, and you don't have to pay that. It's probably going to cost you a little bit more to purchase that kind of lot
because they've done
a whole lot of network for you. And then the other part of it is you may not be able to use your own builder.
Right.
But the building permit doesn't take that long because we talked about the septic permit and grading permit. Now, if you find a lot that's already been engineered, so they probably already have a grading permit, they already have a septic permit, and a building permit. Unfortunately, the building is for
that building that they submitted the permit for. So you might, if you either go with the builder that they already started with, or if you want to get your own builder, try to stick within the confines of what the grading permit and the septic permit will allow. And then the building permit, you still have to submit a different building permit, right? If it's different, if it's a lot different.
If you can, someone
stay within the confines of that, so that you don't have to make any. So that'll save you a whole lot of time. And again, hopefully, it's going to be reflected in the price. It's not going to just be the flat raw land price. It's going to be a little bit marked up because again, engineering, like we said, our line item engineering was a little pricey, so that'll be added on there. But you'll probably save money. Time is money. You'll save that in the long run. Yep. Any other best case scenario additions?
Yeah, I think that is the best case scenario if you're gonna purchase your own lot and build on it. Of course, there's going to a community and you pick a lot and you pay the lot premium and you're just waiting for them to start building on it. The engineering has been done, the permit has been done, all of that's been taken care of. And so if you're going to a community, all they're trying to do is schedule your lot, and coordinating it with other lots that they have in the community. So it's a little different, it's a little simpler, it's a little cheaper, I guess.
They've added it into the price of the house. You'll see like base price of Caruso's, the base price of the house was $380 something when we started, and then but in the community you'll see houses starting at $699 for that same house, and it's because of they've they've mixed what it costs to develop the lot and that property into the price, and that's why you get those fluctuations in the price there. But yeah, so I think at this point we're going to show some clips of what's going on with lot development. So that's what's pretty much going on right now. We're doing a lot of the outside work. A lot of the inside is pretty much they're just tidying up and finishing off some stuff, but a lot of the real work for lot development is going on outside right now. So we'll add on some clips here of like things like propane and stuff that they're doing on the ground in the video, and then hopefully our next video to you will be our empty house tour.
Yeah. Then come this way.
Yeah, look at that. It's down on the ground. Yeah. Cover it. And then it's going to be sticking out of the ground. It'll just be like a cover.
The dome, yeah, it'll stick up about.
A lot of gas. Tank, propane tank going in. Actually, already in. There's a trench going towards the house. Got the AC running. All the downspout go to an underground drainage system that outflows at the back of the house. So there's a pipe that catches all the flow or runoff from that side of the house, and one from this side. They connect right here, and then they go. That will be connected to a barrel retention pond right there, and then to an outfall. It's quite deep. I don't know if the camera angle shows how quite deep it is, but it's deep. It still slopes, as you can see. The goal is to somewhat get this level at some point. Doesn't look like we're gonna do it right now. The bioretention is going to be here, and this is going to be the outfall. As you can see, the house is pretty much completed. Just a few more things to do, so looking good. So we got a trench drain in, so basically this catches all the flow coming in this direction. All the flow from the street coming in that direction. It goes down this way, goes through a pipe that goes down that to the enhanced filter or bioretention, and gradually flows across to the outfall. That's it. So yeah, They're still working on the stormwater management stuff, and 57 stone, and this smaller stone, rocks and stuff. Looking at the grading back here. Make a wreck. Enhanced filter that's going to catch all the flow from the downspout. All go into this bioretention. And then we have another one here as well. This one is massive and deep. This is the second of the bioretention. And that outfall's at the bottom right there. Don't know if it's clear. You can see if they can give us some more flat surface here before it starts to taper down. Yeah, and outfall is right where you have that black pipe. And the Great Wall of China. Alright, y'all.